Ooh, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is Saturday, October 29th, 2016. Though, granted, when you're going to be listening to this, it'll be Sunday, October 30th, 2016. But either way, this is the Absolutely Completely Random Podcast, and I am your host, Andrew Rhodes, with my special guest, Professor Sherman T. Klump. Professor, it is nice to have you with me.
Well, thank you, Andrew. It's very nice to be here. Very nice indeed. At least this time you invited me.
Not a problem, Professor. So this week I'm going to be talking about Pixar bringing out 2 new movies that will be coming to theaters within the next 3 years. I'm going to be talking about the Nintendo Switch. Possibly and supposedly selling 2 million units in the first year? Yeah, okay. I'm going to be talking about the Megabots Battle Against Battles will be televised sometime next year. And Mikoto Shinkai's Your Name, getting a theatrical release so it can be an Oscar contender, and many other things. But first, Professor, do you have any words?
No, right now I'm just sitting here enjoying the nice little thing of popcorn that you gave me, and my nice little diet soda that my wife told me I had to drink, and I'm just going to sit back here, and if you'd like me to speak, I'd be more than happy to give my opinions and my thoughts on certain subjects this evening. So I will be here. If you hear any slurping or chewing, it's me.
All right, Professor. Well, as I said, this is the Absolutely Completely Random Podcast, and I am your host with my special guest this week, Professor Sherman T. Klump. Now, for a word from our sponsor, which is still me.
You're your only sponsor?
Well, unfortunately, yes.
Oh, that's a little sad for you then, isn't it?
Yeah, just a bit. Hi, everybody. This is Andrew from A Roads 2012 on eBay. Are you looking for trading cards, action figures, DVDs, video games, or just some oddities and collectibles? Maybe you're looking for parts for something. Well, if you are, swing by my eBay page. I have a lot of everything and a lot of stuff that has to go. I mean, remember that old saying, one man's trash is another man's treasure. Well, I have a lot of trash and it could be somebody else's treasure. You never know. So, swing by if you're interested, or just swing by to see what I have. Or just swing by to say hi. Well, okay, you can't really say anything because it's an online store. It's an online page on an online garage sale site, basically. It's a worldwide garage sale is what eBay is. But it's a great one, though. So swing by if you get a chance. If you just want to say hi or just want to browse what I have, that's lowercase ARHOADS hyphen 2012 on eBay. You can also follow me on Twitter at Otaku Roads. All right, so let's talk about Pixar. Professor Klump, you know anything about movies?
Well, yes, I do, Andrew. If you remember correctly, I was in 2 movies, The Nutty Professor and The Nutty Professor 2, The Clumps. Now, The Clumps is one of my personal favorites. I think your favorite scene was when I was dry humping the lawn.
Oh, yeah, that was the best. Mariachi band in the background, and you're just dry humping the lawn.
Yes. I ruined my pair of pants for that, too. But anyway, this week, Andrew found out that Pixar's coming out with 2 sequels that are swapping release dates.
Yep, apparently Disney's changed the release dates for 2 high-profile Pixar sequels, The Incredibles 2 and Toy Story 4. The Incredibles 2 will now hit theaters on June 15, 2018, and Toy Story 4 will be coming out June 21st, 2019. The 2 films swapping dates is caused by the accelerated production schedule for The Incredibles 2, according to Disney insiders.
Well, that's a good thing, because The Incredibles 2 is a much better movie than Toy Story is going to be. I mean, how much more on Toy Story can you actually do?
I don't know. The third one made me cry a whole lot. I mean, I grew up with Toy Story. So seeing the first 3 movies really brought a tear to my eye in number 3 when Andy just gave away his toys, because I'm thinking to myself, that could be me. That's basically me. And it hurt so much seeing him play with them one last time with Bonnie, and then getting back in the car and waving goodbye to them one last time, and then driving off and leaving his childhood behind him. It was sad. It really was.
I understand where you come from, Andrew. I really do. I didn't have many friends growing up, but I did always have something to keep me company. Usually it was a rat or a mouse, as long as I didn't show my mama and she didn't get freaked out.
I believe you. For some reason, I believe you, Professor. So, yeah, I mean, I don't really see what more they could do with a Toy Story 4 movie because the only thing I can think of is they're trying to basically reboot the franchise and basically have Bonnie be the new kid we're going to see grow up and we're going to, be with for X amount of years. And the only way I could see that happening is you'd have to have Bonnie pretty much in, like, middle school now. Because we met her, she was at least, preschool, toddler, give or take?
Well, yeah, something like that, yeah. And I can see your point with that. She'd have to be a little older than she was in that movie, because we've also had those animated shorts that were on during the years, like Toy Story of Terror and The Fight Before Christmas.
Oh, yeah, I like both of those. That raptor robot thing was pretty freaking sweet. I loved that thing. That was cool.
Oh, yeah, that was cool. Saw all those things all over Walmart. That was neat.
Yeah. So, that movie's pretty much going to be coming out. Because Toy Story 3, that was the last Pixar movie in the Toy Story franchise, debuted June 18, 2010. Because mid-June corridor is always a favorite for landing spots for Pixar movies. Toy Story 3 landed there. I know that they had, like, Cars landed in June. And a few other ones. So, yeah, that's going to be landing there. And Toy Story 3 actually made the $1 billion club. Not accounting for inflation, it made the $1 billion club. And the only other movies that were able to do that afterwards were Disney's Frozen and Zootopia, Pixar's Finding Dory, and Universal and Illumination Entertainment's Minions.
Oh, I love them little Minions. You know they have banana-flavored Tic Tacs now for them?
Oh, yeah, I saw some of those at work, actually.
Oh, yeah, those things are lovely. Now, of course, my wife wants me on a bit of a diet, and I had to watch what I eat. But one of my students was nice enough to bring me the little Minion guy for my desk. Oh, that little Minion guy's cute, and I've been sneaking the Tic Tacs every now and then.
Well, Tic Tacs aren't really that bad for you. The orange ones are pretty much just candy at this point.
Well, yeah, I know that, but, I'm trying to be nice, and my wife's trying to help me lose weight. Now, I'm trying to get in a little bit of shape myself.
It's always good to try and get a little bit of shape. So am I. So, Pixar's being... Yeah, this is the part that I like, though. Pixar has been cautious when it comes to making sequels.
Oh, yeah, they've been cautious, all right. We had Cars and Cars 2. Planes and Planes, Fire and Ice. Ugh.
Oh, yeah. And don't forget all the other ones that didn't get sequels or might have a sequel somewhere down the road. I mean, you also have Inside, which will probably get a sequel, and I don't see why. I'm just happy The Incredibles are finally getting a sequel because that needed one. And you figure after 14 years, so I'm assuming it's going to be focused and centered around the kids, Violet and Dash and Jack.
Jack?
Yeah, they're youngest. Jack. Then you had Violet was the oldest, and Dash was the middle one.
Oh, yeah, now I remember.
Yeah, so that's what I kind of see. That being, it could end up pretty well. But those are coming out within like the next 3 years. June 15, 2018 for Incredibles 2 and June 21st, 2019 for Toy Story 4, provided that nothing bad happens, that they have to push back release dates or anything else. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I think everybody is. I mean, what bad could actually happen, right, Professor?
Well, a lot could happen. You could have the entire Earth's crust suddenly rip asunder. You could have meteorites falling out of the sky. Your genetics could suddenly just stop and you could die. A lot of stuff could possibly go wrong, Andrew. You just have to really open up your mind and broaden your horizons a bit.
So that same thing at work. I need to broaden my horizons more. I used to watch PBS. So, but Pixar's been cautious when it comes to making sequels. Sure. Oh, okay. So, you guys weren't in charge of Cars or Cars 2? Planes or Planes, Fire and Ice? How many other sequels did Pixar make out of those movies that Disney had their hands in? Oh, God, there were so many of them now anymore. It just leaves a bad taste in my mouth. So many of them. Sorry about that. I think I got a little bit of a cold this week. But yeah, Walt Disney Company CEO Bob Iger announced The Incredibles 2 sequel a whole decade after the first film played in theaters. And 4 years after that, we're going to be getting the sequel. So I'm looking forward to that. That's one that I'll actually probably go see in theaters. That's one that I would really like to see. So yeah, I'm up for that. What about you, Professor? You going to go see it with me?
Well, no, Andrew. I'll probably go see it myself. And then I'll give you a detailed synopsis on it. Grade you on it, too. Don't forget that I am a professor after all. I am a professor after all, so I will have to grade you on it.
Thanks, Professor. All right, so Shinkai's Your Name film. And the Japanese translation of that is Kimi no Nawa. The animated film the anime film will run theatrically from December 2nd to December 8th at the Los Angeles La Mille Music Hall, followed by a wider release in the first quarter of 2017. And all this is by Funimation so that they can get the film an Oscar qualification. In order to get in quote unquote the nomination or qualification for the Oscars, a film has to run in a theater in Los Angeles County for a week to qualify for consideration in the awards. A week. At least in the Academy Awards. A week. A whole freaking week. Now, this movie has done gangbusters in Japan. It's up to 16... Hold on a second. Let me see where it is here in the article. Where are you in the article here? Blah, 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 blah. Here we go. 16.41 billion yen, which comes out to $158 million American as of Monday. That was after 60 days in the Japanese box office. The film is now the fourth highest grossing anime film in Japan, the fifth highest grossing Japanese film in the country, and the ninth highest grossing film of all time in Japan. It surpassed the box office totals for Studio Ghibli and Hayao Miyazaki's Ponyo, which I own. That is a beautiful movie if you ever get a chance to watch it. I'm not a fan of Betty White doing the one voice in it, but I can look past that because she's not central to the plot. And James Cameron's Avatar, another good movie. Need a sequel to that too, James. Get on that. Avatar earned 15.6 billion yen. Ponyo was 15.5 billion yen. And Your Name has basically just left them both in the dust and said, eat my ass. And it's kind of interesting. The only anime films to earn more than Your Name are Studio Ghibli and Miyazaki's Spirited Away, Howl's Moving Castle, and Princess Mononoke.
Oh, Spirited Away. Spirited Away is a good movie. I actually saw that. It was a very touching movie. For a second there, it was very touching. I liked the No-Face character, personally. He was kind of a neat little mix between a poltergeist and a ghost, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I do. He wasn't too bad, but at the same time, it was sort of a strange little oddity to see him. But it was cool nonetheless. I kind of liked No-Face. He was really neat. It's Spirited Away is among the list. It's among the movies that I would recommend anybody first starting off with anime to watch, and it's really cool. But Your Name is basically now projected to possibly approach the 20 billion yen mark, which would be 200 million US. And if it hits that, that would be amazing. And I mean it. That would be huge. This movie could go down in the history of history here, folks. So yeah, there is a plot synopsis for it, but I'm really not going to read it out because if you really want to read it, just, Wikipedia it. That's what I did earlier this week. It's basically a neat little story. The ending's kind of cool according to the plot. I still want to watch it even after reading the plot and knowing how it ends. I still want to read it. So, I still want to watch it. I still want to watch it. I know I just insulted anime fans and otakus out there. I apologize profusely. I'm a little tired this evening, so it's understandable.
Yeah, you look a little tired. You had a long day, huh?
Yeah, a long day and a long week, and my next week's going to be even longer. Shinkai also wrote the scripts for the films. Mashi Ando, Spirited Away, When Marie Was There, and Paprika served as. Oh yeah, okay, that was Masashi Yeah, Masashi Ado served as the animating director, and Miyoshi Takana, which is basically Anoha, the Anthem of the Heart, and Toradora. That one sounds pretty cool. I don't know why. Design characters, co-mix, wave, incorporated, animated the film. So all in all, I still really want to see this. Um, I'm really hoping that Funimation does release this on DVD and Blu-ray. I really want to see this. This might actually find its way into my anime collection. I'll probably get scalped on eBay like crazy. I can kind of see those Malaysian sites probably doing it the second they come up. So yeah, this is gonna be a highly loved movie. I can see that happening, and either way, I think it's gonna be great.
Andrew, you remember last year the Megabots giant robot battle, the Kickstarter that got launched?
Oh yeah, I remember that. I thought that was pretty cool. Giant mechanized Gundams, and then you have like a CNN and some of the other countries are flipping out about it because they're thinking that the U.S. and Japan are trying to wage war on the rest of the world. Yeah. What about it, Professor?
Oh, well, guess what? It's going to be televised next year.
Oh, no way. Seriously?
Yep. Last year, the U.S.-based Megabots company launched a successful Kickstarter campaign. It's funding its duel with Sudobashi Heavy Industries $1 million Kuratas robot. The campaign completed. The Megabots started its documentary series. It has like 2 episodes out, right?
Yeah, I remember seeing one of them, and it kind of put me to sleep. But yeah, there's at least 2 episodes. Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, at least 2 episodes.
Yeah, that's good. Well, basically everybody wants to know about the duel. The 2 episodes they have out, basically how to destroy and how to build a giant robot.
Well, those are good things you need to know.
Well, yeah, definitely. The Wall Street Journal revealed that the match is slated for television next year. Do you make out these names here at all?
Matt Oriline and Guy Cavalcanti.
Oh, okay, that sounds about right. They've gone forward with attaching a chainsaw arm to their Mark III bot. It can cut through a washing machine like it's paper.
Whoa. Seriously? Cool. All right, now I really want to see this thing in action.
They're planning to have the robot done sometime this year.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, that's not even the best part, though. Winning the battle isn't Megabots' only goal. They're hoping to create a whole new world of sports with this.
Well, now that I would sign up for in a second. That would be a sport I would love to play.
Well, unless you got $750,000, I don't think you can play.
Oh, nope, don't got that much money on me though.
Yeah, they're hoping to sell off $750,000 robot kits, and then have the finished products of those kits face off each other. They plan to introduce a level of drama to this battle as well. In fact, while much of the Mark III's design is based around the 2 emerging alive, because remember, this has got to be piloted by humans.
That's the part that I like. We're getting closer and closer to real steel here. And first you have to have the humans controlling the robots. Then you're eventually going to have, at least, inside one with the robots. Then you're going to have them outside the robots, like that Spike TV thing that was really cool. Or Sci-Fi. I think it was Sci-Fi that did that. That was really cool. And then you're going to have more and more down the road. It's going to get really entertaining. That's something I could definitely say. And I apologize out there for yawning. Like I said, I'm kind of tired and it's been a long day.
Oh, that's understandable. If you want me to take over for a little bit, I can. You can take a little nap.
No, I'm fine. I'm good. I can still go. It's fine. I'm not tired. I'm not an old man. I can still go.
All right, that's good. Oh, yeah, so, we're going to have all that going on. So, looking forward to this. The exact date and location of the duel is still unknown, but it's definitely not going to be the last these two have their way.
I wouldn't doubt it. This is definitely something that's going to be entertaining for a lot of people. Because you're going to have the science fiction aspect to this. You're going to have the giant robot aspect to it. The mech battles. This is something that I think the world needs right now. We need something that's not dull and boring. I mean, we have baseball, football, soccer, rugby over in England, cricket, racing. All those sports basically equate to merchandising and yawning, at least in my opinion. The last race I watched, I think, was up at my one friend's place, and I swear I fell asleep at least 3/4 of the way through it. So there is that. But still, I'm looking forward to this. I'm hoping that by televised it'll be like online too, so we can watch it, because I really want to be able to see this. So that would be pretty cool. I'm looking forward to that. What about you, Professor?
Oh, yeah, I'd be looking forward to this too. I mean, deep down, I am a person of very scientific means. And if I get to see two robots beat the crap out of each other, well, that's something I'm going to sign up for in a minute. I definitely want to see two robots sign up for each other. I definitely want to see two robots beat the crap out of each other. Sign me up for that.
Sure. Gummy Bear?
Oh, thank you very much. Yeah, that's something I'll definitely be interested in.
That's good, Professor. Okay. So everybody remembers last week I went off on the Nintendo Switch. Well, this week the Nintendo CEO says that within the first month, the Nintendo Switch is expected to move 2 million units. I agree with you there, Professor. That's kind of funny. Nintendo's not expecting any losses from this home handheld hybrid system. But yet, there is just so much wrong with this. Like I reported last week, they're not really giving out any more specs for the rest of the year. You're on your own. There's rumors circulating that the battery's only going to last about 3 hours. That the home docking system is only for nothing more than connecting the device to your TV. It is basically an overglorified Wii U. And the Wii U did nothing. I did not like that when I saw it at the one E3 thing on TV. It didn't do much for me. And now the fact that you're not going to be able to have backwards compatibility with this, as it's not designed as a replacement for the 3DS or the Wii U, it would just seem like a bunch of problems. I could see like having a 3DS game slot, because you're basically having it handheld. That would be really cool for like third-party games like Mario Kart or something like that, where you have multiple people. That would be something cool to have with it. But, I don't see this doing too well with the fact that you're not going to, you can't play Wii U games, discs, or 3DS cards on it. Nintendo's being super secretive now about anything else for the rest of the year. They're not giving you any more information until the start of 2017. And this is scheduled to come out in March. So we're already going to be missing the Christmas and holiday rush. You're going to have a tremendous amount of people that are going to be getting this. They're not going to have many games to play with this. I'm starting to think this might end up turning into another Virtual Boy incident. You're going to have like maybe 5 games to start off with, and you better hope and pray you enjoy it. Remember the fact that, they're fixing this up so that you can use it in places that have no power. Well, yeah, unless this thing's powered by the sun or by pixie farts, it isn't going to do much. I mean, Professor, what would you say about something that has to run on power but doesn't technically need power to run?
Well, first off, Andrew, you do realize I'm a professor of genetics, right? I mean, I study genetics, I study genes. As in genes, not the pair of pants that you wear. Genes, actual genes, like genetic codes. I don't know much of anything about electronics or anything else, except for the fact that, I have a computer and I don't barely know how to use that thing other than send emails.
Okay, fair enough, but still, it's just one of those things that it's weird to me, basically. And this is the part that I love here. In the article, the Wall Street Journal reporter Takashi Mochizuki reported on Wednesday that Nintendo CEO Tatsumi Kimishima, said Nintendo does not expect a loss from selling its new Nintendo Switch Hybrid home handheld system. However, Nintendo intends to listen to consumer expectations on the cost of the system. Well, what were they even... I never saw anything for a cost to begin with on this. I never saw an idea of what they were planning to spend, what they're going to charge people for this, what they were going to make people pay for this. Is it even worth paying for this? I don't know much of anything. Nobody does. Other than you got two Joy-Con controllers that when you connect to this thing, they basically look like a sad puppy. And they even have a plush for that.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah. It is kind of sad. It makes me feel like, Rover got into the bad mix of doggy weed or something.
Yeah, it's what it feels like to me, too. So, you have the Nintendo, you have this coming out. Nintendo also announced 48 publishers, developers, and middleware partners supporting the system, which I read off last week. It's something about this seems a bit off to me. Like, they don't really know what they're doing, but at the same time, they don't want to admit that they don't know what they're doing. Because if they admit that they don't know what they're doing, and it's going to come back to bite them hard in the ass, because then they're not going to know, oh, well, we're doing it this way for a reason. Why, we don't know, but yeah, we're doing it this way for a reason. Most of which, it's good, but at the same time, it's bad. Well, yeah, I can understand your point of view on that. But there's also another part of this article. According to Mochizuki, or however you pronounced it, Kirishima said that the current fiscal year financial guidance assumes 2 million units of Switch to be shipped this fiscal year, ending in March. The console is slated to ship on an unspecified date in March. Well, yeah, it's supposed to have a March release date, but this doesn't tell you that it's going to ship 2 million units. I mean, the Wii sold faster than they could get it on the shelf. That was a system that they knew what they were doing when they created it. The Wii U, not so much. The 3DS sold like hotcakes. I remember that, well, let me rephrase that. I know it sold well, but then I remember them dropping the price down, and then it really started flying off the shelves. Because I never saw much of them then when I was going to like game stores and stuff. But beforehand, it was be like, oh yeah, we have the 3DS in stock. It was like $200 some. Then they dropped it down to like at $175, and it just started flying. Like that extra $25 does make a difference. I read an article once about that, where people will make a decision based on how much an item is. If something's like $40, $50, they'll instinctively buy it. They won't think about it rationally. They'll just instinctively buy it. But if it costs like $60 or $70, they'll stop and they'll think for a minute and go, well, no, do I really need this? I mean, it's $70. Do I really, really want this? And let's not forget, Nintendo has taken a huge bath on a lot of their stuff. I mean, they had the Virtual Boy, they had the Game Boy Micro, and it's been a while since they had a real nose bomber. The Wii U definitely comes close, but I'm getting the feeling that the Switch is definitely going to be this new nose bomber. I mean, a 3-hour battery. Hey, Professor...
Yeah, okay, that I can understand. I do have a tablet. My tablet lasts about maybe 4 to 5 hours on full battery charge, and that's without me having it hooked up to the Wi-Fi or anything else, for that matter. But yeah, I can see your point on that. Bad things happen, really bad things happen, and yeah, you're gonna end up running out of power fast right in the middle of a game, and yeah, and the battery power will probably just kick off. Won't have a way of slowly draining the battery or put it into like a battery save mode or something. If it does, that might help them a little bit, but it may not. It may hurt them more than help them.
Yeah, you never know. So, it's got the detachable Joy-Con controllers, Nintendo Switch dock for connecting the system to a television, which can only be used for connecting it to a television, too, according to a report. That NVIDIA GPU processor, the NVIDIA Tegra processor, whatever. It makes no sense at this point. High-definition display. I think Nintendo should have came out with this years ago, to be honest with you. And it's not like they couldn't have. I think they could have if they really would have put their minds to it. They just didn't want to because they figured, well, we'll wait, come out with it 10 years down the road and see what happens. So, But, like I said, this could go either way. This could be really good. This could be really bad. It's just going to be a matter of time to see how bad or how good this goes. Will I be buying it? Probably not. Mostly for the fact that I really have no game systems anymore except for an Xbox that I have sitting in my room. And currently a tablet that I can't use. So, yeah, that's all I have game system-wise. If you really sit down and think about it, there's really not much. So, yeah. Professor, do you have anything to add to this?
Actually, yes, I do, Andrew. Nintendo is basically coming out with this as still trying to be the only game marketer out there. Now, you've told me that I should listen to the CU podcast, and I have. I do agree with you, by the way, that Ian Ferguson seems to know what he's talking about more times than anything else. And he basically said it best, and I quote, when he goes that Microsoft's pretty much just going to come out with this Xbox One S and then bow out completely. Can I have another gummy bear, by the way?
Oh, yeah, sure. Here you go.
Oh, thank you very much. They're going to pretty much come out with this Xbox One S, then they're going to bow out quietly into the wayside. Then you're going to have Sony coming out with like their PS4 Neo or the PS5 or whatever they're coming out with down the road. What is it now?
I think it's the PS4 Neo.
Oh, yeah, whatever it is. And they're going to have that. And then once that's out, they're liable to just come out like maybe one other system. If they're even that generous, and then just call it quits themselves. Focus more on their movies and DVD aspects. You're just going to have Nintendo. So why does Nintendo want to try to make high-end software? They got nothing to really compete against anymore. I mean, they really got nothing anymore. They don't have to worry about competing against Sony because they're already basically hybriding two different things. A full console and a handheld console. So basically, they have nothing to worry about from Sony. So why are they worrying about... I mean, they have nothing to worry about from Sony or Microsoft. So why are they basically breaking their backs trying to make this thing come out really quick? I mean, we could have massive problems with this battery. It could explode. Could be like the hoverboards. All bad stuff could happen. And those gummy bears are really good, by the way. Where'd you get them?
Oh, my mom got them for me.
Oh, they're really good. Thank you, Mrs. Rhodes. Really tasty. So, yeah, either way, I agree with you to a point. I can see this thing being good and bad at the same time, but mostly I just see this thing being bad because, well, you're going to have bad things happening to good things, and I just don't see this taking off too well. But 2 million units... No way. I see maybe 1 million units if they're that lucky, because a lot of people are going to be weary. Because don't forget, this thing's supposed to come out in March. What's the first thing that happens here in the U.S. in April?
Taxes. And taxes are... That's what I was thinking. Because there aren't a lot of people that file their taxes early, because a lot of them will wait until near the deadline to file it so that they can actually see if they can do it themselves first to make sure that there's nothing that they're forgetting, or because they have to pay somebody and that's the earliest that they can get it done. Now also, and you can't forget the fact that you're going to need like your W-2s and everything else, and a lot of times, depending on who you work for, it could take them almost till the end of March to ship them out, to send them out to you. So it's not exactly complete, oh yeah, we're screwing up big time sort of dance here. They know that they're doing things. They just have to figure out how they're doing it and why. And that I kind of agree with you, that being a problem. I mean, a March release date was a horrible idea for this, but it could pan out well because then people could get tax refunds and they could spend it on, a video game console. Who knows?
Well, hopefully you're right. If not, well, yeah, we'll just call it a day then.
Yeah, I guess so. Should we move on?
Yeah, I would. I guess so. We've been talking about this for a good amount of time. What are we up to next?
Well, that was everything I had on my list, but I do have some other stuff that didn't make the list today.
Oh, well, do talk, Andrew, do talk.
All right, well, I guess it's time for me to talk about Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2, which finally dropped this week, by the way. And I have to admit, this game's actually pretty cool. Now, I personally am not playing it. I don't have a system to play it. But I actually do enjoy watching the other people play it. I've watched Rhythm Styles, some of his videos. So I shouldn't really say his. It could be a female. I've watched some of their videos. I've watched Saiyan Legend, and I have watched Pungence. Pungence just started it on Tuesday. Pretty much doing, I think it's like 2 or 3 videos a day. Keeping up with this. So on and so forth down the line, mostly so that we can see what's happening. I have seen pretty far into the story with some of the other videos. I've seen how the ending goes. Don't really want to spoil it for you. There are some other things in this that are really entertaining, like some certain souls you can get in the game, certain cutscenes, certain missions. There's one in particular that I do kind of want to give a spoiler alert to, and this is I was talking to you about this before the podcast.
Oh, yeah, I remember this one. Okay.
The mission is basically Future Trunks, and you're basically stopping. You're supposed to stop Future Trunks from interfering with Gohan defeating the androids, or at least dying while trying to fight the androids. But the bonus mission is that Trunks intervenes and helps Gohan fight the androids, then realizes I can never go back to the time nest, I can never go back to my time, because if I do, I'm going to be branded a traitor, because what I did technically violated the laws of time and space. And the Supreme Kai of Time basically makes a comment. She goes, should we fix time or should we leave it? And it gives you 2 options. Either fix it, which I'm assuming then is you have to go in and you have to fight Trunks and stop Trunks from taking this timeline, or you have to say just leave it so that Trunks can just stay there and, be happy. A lot of people were choosing this leave it, don't change it. And I kind of have to agree with them. And that's what I was telling you about before the podcast. I would agree with that.
Yes, I do remember that. Because you were making the comment, you made a good argument, too, for it. About how Future Trunks basically did so much for people. And then to get ripped away like that was just bad. Losing his mentor was the thing that finally turned him into a Super Saiyan, but he was close enough on his own multiple times, so I'm sure he would have gotten to that point at some point or another. But more and more down the road, it's definitely entertaining to know, and interesting I might add, to see that you can actually see if other timelines would have worked out if, say, Time Patroller decided, I want to intervene with this timeline, I want to fix this event in history, and I want to make it right. That's really entertaining and really interesting, too. It's entertaining from a standpoint of you get to see a imaginary what-if battle, but at the same time, it's interesting because then you also get to see what happens after that battle. So it kind of gives you closure into the, what do you think would have happened if moments? And a lot of those pop up in games like this. But yeah, like you said, though, that and the ending are 2 of the greatest things, and you don't want to ruin the ending, so we can't really talk about that.
No, but the whole game's fun. If you get a chance, I say pick it up. They actually do have Imperfect Cell in that. I have seen him. Bardock, Future Gohan. They got a good roster of characters. You can even get hit from the Dragon Balls, which is really cool, and I want to send that as a message to Pungence, like, hey, you might really want to try to find the Dragon Balls. You can get hit. Hit, the legendary assassin from Universe 6, from Dragon Ball Super, that you have never watched yet, because he's waiting for the dub. The dub may not come for like 6 or 7 years. I mean, look how long it took the dub of Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z to finally hit the U.S. A long time. At least that's what it was for me to finally be able to see it. So it's definitely not something that you'll see too often, but entertaining nonetheless. So, yeah, but he's waiting for the dub of it to come. I've just been watching the sub, and it's entertaining. The fight we're getting up to, and it's just I just found a way to lead into this, too. Did you notice that?
Yes, I did, and that's actually a pretty good lead-in, too, I have to admit, even with the yawning.
Oh, yeah, as I said, it's been a long day. Dragon Ball Super this week, we're going to finally see Zemasu and Black fuse, and they're doing the Potara fusion. For those of you who don't know what that is, let me give you a little rundown. We were first introduced to this in the Majin Buu saga, or at least the storyline with Super Buu taking on Gotenks and Gohan going to save Gotenks and then getting overpowered after Buu absorbed Gotenks. Goku was given not only the Potara earrings from the Elder Kai, but he was also given the last of Elder Kai's life. And that basically equated to Elder Kai dying, but not really dying, because then everybody was brought back to life anyway, so it worked out pretty well. Spoiler if you haven't seen it, but it's been out for so long now. So what the Potara earrings do is one person wears it on one ear, and the other person wears it on the opposite ear. They don't wear it on the same ear. One has to wear it one has to be on the left, and the other has to be on the right, and they instantly fuse together. Once fused, they cannot separate. Or so we're told, as apparently Supreme Kai was able to separate himself from Kibito by using the Namekian Dragon Balls in an earlier episode of Dragon Ball Super, which we were told at the start of the Universe Tournament. Go figure on that one. Either way, it's still an interesting thing to know, it's an interesting thing to see, and all in all, it's definitely cool. But this week, we're going to have that, and it's hinted heavily that Vegito may be making a return. First off, I want that to happen because I have a Vegito figure, and I love that Vegito figure. It's Super Vegito, so it's the yellow-haired one, but Vegito was a really good character. I mean, my all-time favorite character is Goku, which is obvious.
Oh yeah, that's obvious.
And my second favorite character would be Vegito. My third favorite would be Piccolo. Vegeta's pretty. He's in the top 6, but he's not in the top 3. Piccolo mostly makes the top 3 for one reason. He went toe-to-toe with Android 17. Now, Vegeta got his ass whooped by 18. Like I said, long day. He got his ass whooped by 18. 16 took on Cell, and 17 took on Piccolo. And 17 was sort of like this. If he wouldn't have been evil, I think he would have joined the Z Fighters. I really do. And it just entertained me to watch that. And I know I'm using entertain a lot tonight, aren't I?
Oh yeah, just a little bit, yeah. But yeah, I understand what you mean. It was a great fight, and it was a really good and interesting way to do it. Yeah, for me it would probably be Goku and then Gohan, and unfortunately Vegeta. Although I could probably throw Trunks in instead of Gohan, depending on which version I'm talking about.
Yeah, just as long as we're not talking about GT or Kai, as far as I'm concerned. Both of those can bite me. I hated both of those with a passion. GT was the worst. 2 good fights in that entire thing, and that's it. That was locked, done, and screwed for good. All right. So, let's get into my... You ready for this, Professor?
I guess I am. May I do it this week?
Oh, be my guest.
All right, thank you very much, Andrew. It's time for the Asshole Seller of the Week. Week. I take it this one's weak, or is this one just downright dirty?
Well, this Asshole Seller of the Week has actually found a way to outdevil the devil, if I may say that, if I may use it that way. This week's Asshole Seller of the Week is Concept Electronics on eBay. You know who you are. And if you want to tell me that I'm slandering you, be my guest. Doesn't beat what happened this week. Recently got a tablet off of them, and doesn't charge. Contacted them about it. Don't want to do a return because the serial number is different from what they have on their records. But I'm not the only person that has apparently gotten burned by them. Doing a Google search on their name brings you to the Better Business Bureau, or the BBB. And they actually have a file on Concept Electronics. They have a B- rating. And there are at least 3 or 4 complaints, all of which were settled in eBay and all of which were settled in Concept Electronics' favor by basically biding their time. They basically sell refurbished electronics. They claim that the electronics are tested. That's up for debate. They kind of have questionable business practices from what I could tell from the comments and everything else. Definitely something that I would avoid. And you have basically made my asshole sellers of the week. Literally. What do you think, Professor?
Well, I think you shouldn't really badmouth somebody until you walk a mile in their shoes. But based on everything that I read, because you told me to Google search them this afternoon, and I did so, and, well, needless to say, I agree with you. When you have a B-minus rating from the Better Business Bureau, and you basically have a whole bunch of comments saying that blah, blah, blah this and blah, blah, blah that, you are only hearing one side of the story. But then when you see that they can actually leave comments, as you complained about something on the Better Business Bureau yourself.
Yes, I did. I complained about the institution I went to further my education with.
Yes, you did. And basically what happened was... Oh, do we really want to go into that one? Or should
I just keep talking about this one.
Oh, okay. Well, basically you can see both sides of the story on this to a point. But you just don't know which one's lying or which one's telling the truth. And it's basically like that old TV show with, what were the magic duo? Penn and Teller, right?
Oh, yeah, bullshit with Penn and Teller, yeah.
Yeah. So there you had that. So, yeah, I wouldn't really badmouth them too much, but just be wary of them. If you want to buy anything from them, make sure you ask a lot of questions. Take pictures of the stuff as you pull it out of the box, just in case there's any problems down the road. And, yeah, that's basically what I would do. Anything else you want to add to that?
No, not really. Anything you want to add to it?
Yeah, I think I've said my piece. All right, so Concept Electronics, you are the asshole settlers of the week. That sound about right?
Sounds good. All right. Well, it's time for my anime recommendations, Professor.
All right, so I'm just going to sit back then and relax for a little bit, because I don't know much about anime.
All right, so my anime recommendations of the week. It's been a while since I've actually done this. I have 2 of them, actually. The first one is The Devil is a Part-Timer. It's a 13-episode series from Funimation. First off, I wanted to get a second season. You left a tremendous amount of story on the table. You left a huge hole in the plot the size of a Mack truck. And you left so much in the realm of knowing that I want to know more. The whole plot basically revolves around Sadao Mao, who is a.k.a. the Devil Incarnate, who comes to our world from a world called Inta-Isla. And in that world, magic rules, and he's trying to take over all of Inta-Isla, but he decides to make a break for it after losing to the hero, whose name I cannot pronounce. It's like Ophelia. Yeah, I can't really pronounce it too well. But he ends up running to Earth with his loyal lackey. They end up getting into some mischief, finding out magic doesn't really exist in this world, except unless they create a tremendous amount of fear, in which case then they can replenish their magic. But he starts taking a liking to our world. He meets up with his co-worker at a McRonald's, and it's MG Ronald's. So that's definitely the reasoning for, hey, we can't have McDonald's in this, but let's just make it a little different. No one's going to know the difference. Yeah, that's true. I'm not going to notice it. I don't really care. I thought the anime was good. It's, like I said, 13 episodes long. It's basically broken into 2 halves. First 5 episodes, you have the hero shows up, wants to kill the devil. Then all of a sudden you have the devil has to fight Lucifer. Which is ironic because that's just another name for the devil. But Lucifer turned out to be one of the devil's subordinates. And basically tries to take over the entire world that the devil's currently in. And it's entertaining nonetheless. At least for that part. Second half is basically trying to figure out why or how there's like a disturbance or something. They can feel it, I guess. And it turns out to be a celestial angel that's basically there to clean up the mess from the old guy who was the leader of the church who failed in his mission to kill the devil, and now they're basically he's basically there to clean up everything, and loses in the end. Spoiler alert if you haven't seen it, but come on, the good guys always win. Final episode was a little weak as far as I was concerned. I mean, you have 12 episodes that kind of give you a decent plot, and then you throw the 13th episode where if you were going to make this a one-season anime, you would wrap everything up in a nice tight bow and call it done. Kind of what I said earlier, how I started this off, left the door open for a sequel and a second season. So, if you get a chance, check out The Devil is a Part-Timer. And if you also get a chance, write Funimation and tell them that they need to get off their ass and make a second season. And I'm pretty sure it's Funimation that had this one. Yeah, I think so. So that'd be pretty cool. So they got to get off their butts. They got to make a second season because that deserves it. Another anime recommendation of the week is actually an abridged anime. Those have been popping up a lot on YouTube lately. And what abridged anime series are is they're basically an anime series with fans doing the voices, and they take like one or two episodes and condense them together, or they take one episode and they split out some of the filler in between, and they just give you the raw episode itself. You know, the good raw episode with them doing the voiceover. And the abridged series that I recommend anime-wise for this week would be Sword Art Online Abridged from Something Witty Entertainment. This is a really interesting, and I really want to say it that way. It is an interesting anime series. Mostly for the fact that, at least for the abridged-wise, it's interesting for the fact that it has the Sword Art Online feel to it, while at the same time, it has a whole new feel to it, I want to say. At the same time, it's really entertaining. You have Kirito constantly running the risk of going insane. You have him and Asuna basically acting way weirder than they usually do. Real life situations, stuff like that. It's entertaining. If you watch Sword Art Online, and by the way, if you ever watch an abridged series, be sure to watch the actual series first. Because that's the mistake I made with The Devil is a Part-Timer. I watched the abridged series first, and then I watched the actual series, and that's when I'm like, oh, they were pretty much almost the same. But yeah, Sword Art Online, you gotta watch that first, then watch the abridged series. And all in all, that's what definitely makes it entertaining, because you just have, you can see how the episode would play out if you wrote it yourself. One of my favorite parts is when Kirito loses his mind on this bridge, taking on Rosalia, and he's taking on her little gang, the Orange Murderers. I think they were called the Orange Guild. And after they slice and dice him and his health regenerates because of the auto heal function battle skill, they're like, we threw everything we have at him. How could he still be standing? How? Well, it's quite simple. You see, girly, you think you got me all figured out. But the one thing you forgot to factor in is that my numbers are bigger than yours. We could do this all day, and you wouldn't be any, my wounds heal faster than you can make them. We could do this all day, and you wouldn't be any closer to beating me. Not that it wouldn't be fun. But my favorite line out of this is it's right here when he goes, but I have good news. There's no need to wonder where your God is. He's right here, and he's fresh out of mercy. That's the part that I would be pretty much weary. If I'm just trying to take down a gaming player that's got a higher level than I do, auto heals, and they basically go, oh yeah, by the way, you don't gotta wonder where your God is, because he's right here. Yep, that's when I would pretty much be getting scared. Because it's like, yeah, I'll pretty much take it on God at that point. Because there's no way I can scratch you. You're healing yourself before I can even do damage to you. Yep, I'm a dead man. I'm done. And that's where I would bow out. I would be really scared and petrified. And nonetheless, I would basically probably be shitting myself. So, yeah, that's my other recommendation, though, is SAO Abridged from Something Witty Entertainment. And my anime recommendation for the week is The Devil is a Part-Timer, both of which I highly recommend checking out. And if you haven't already, well, like their I know Something Witty Entertainment, you can subscribe to their YouTube channel because they would still have more Abridged episodes to come. And don't forget to like the Kirito is Always Right Foundation. That was really, really funny. All right, Professor. Well, I think that's everything for this week. Do you have anything you'd like to say or comment on before I wrap this up, put a bow on it, and call it a night?
Well, no, Andrew, I really don't. I'd like to thank you, though, for having me on your show and on your podcast. I apologize you had a rough day, and if I would have known about that, I would have offered to take over your podcast this evening, but no, I'm pretty much good. I don't think there's anything more I need to worry about. If anybody out there would like a third Clumps movie, though, please be more than willing to sign a petition. Go to change.org and create one. Granted, they don't do much good, but still, it would mean a lot to me.
Mean a lot to me too, Professor, but I don't think it'll ever happen. But nonetheless, yep, that pretty much wraps it up for this week, I guess. So, for the absolutely completely random podcast, I'm Andrew Rhodes, here with my special guest this week, who was Professor Sherman T. Klump. Professor, it was nice to have you on my podcast.
Thank you very much, Andrew. And would you like me to handle the last bit for you so that way you can start to wrap up and get ready to go to sleep?
That would mean a lot to me, Professor. You think you can handle it?
Oh, I think I can handle it, Andrew. Not a problem. If you have any topics for the ACR Podcast, feel free to send them to acrpodcast@gmail.com. Use the subject line topics. If you would like to sponsor the ACR Podcast, you can do the same thing by sending an email to acrpodcast@gmail.com and in the subject line type in sponsor. Or if you just have any, well, what, you want to say hi or something, or ideas for the show, or just, random stuff in general, just, send a message or an email to the acrpodcast@gmail.com. And in the subject line, say hi or idea for show or something like that. Sound good?
Sounds good to me. So, yeah, like I said, for the absolutely completely random podcast, my name is Andrew Rhodes.
And I am Professor Sherman T. Klump.
And we'll see you. Well, I'll see you next week. Unless the world comes to an end and the devil gets free sleigh rides, I'll see you next week for daylight savings time. Yay! So, yeah, for the absolutely completely random podcast, I'm Andrew Rhodes. Professor Sherman T. Klump is just officially walked out the door.
Oh, sorry, you want me to come back?
No, it's good. It's good. All right, I'll see everybody next time. Have a nice night, a nice weekend, and remember, thank you for having me in your homes.